I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we have the minutes from November 16th
And the 23rd.
and the 23rd. We're all here for that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, so
the 16th and the 23rd.
I'll move that we approve the minutes of November the 16th and November the 23rd.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have warrants 11P, the payroll, Recreation Board number 7, Cemetery Fund number 2, and Capital Fund number 8.
I'll make a motion to approve bills for payments of warrants 11P, Rec Board 7, and Cemetery Fund 2.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Warrant 11 is for $11,908.70. That's going to the monthly sheriff's contract, fuel, some highway department supplies, and there's some ARPA payments going out this week. And for ice rink and
Grange.
The Grange.
the Grange, the ceilings in the Grange.
Right, repair of the
Yep.
ceilings, yep.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Let's see. Any ARPA updates before we?
No, we can do that on new business.
Great. Okay, so the Green Mountain Camp, if you'd like to. You sent us a proposal asking for $100,000 to go towards the repair or replacement of the building. And we just wanted more information.
Sure.
And this is your chance to,
Make your case.
make a case.
Well, a couple of years ago, we've been talking about doing something to the White House for a couple of years. And we had a building inspector, the kind that you have come in before you buy a house. We had one of those guys come in and look at the place. And he pointed out a number of things that need to be done, but also pointed out that there are a number of things that he could not inspect because of the substandard construction of the house. And significantly, that includes the sills on top of the foundation. Some of us were in favor of rehabilitating the White House, and some of us felt that it should be torn down and replaced. And during our last board meeting, we had a tour of the house, and the consensus seems to be that it should be torn down and replaced. Some of us, when we actually got in there and saw it, it's not worth saving. It's it's about 110 years old, and we have available from our cash surplus about $200,000 towards the project. We got an estimate from Evans Construction. This is Jason Evans, and it's going to cost at least $23,000 just to demolish the place. To jack it up and put a new foundation under it would cost $40,000 to $50,000, and that seems like that's throwing good money down a rat hole. And it will be a board decision, but my feeling is that the consensus is that we should build new. It's going to cost at least $300,000, maybe probably $350,000. We have engaged the services of a grant writer to look for other funds, and we do have decent credit history now, so if need be, we'll go for a bank mortgage, or perhaps there are a few board members who may make personal loans to the corporation, but that's where we're at. You know, and yes, $100,000 was a big number, but we'll be grateful for whatever you give us.
Any other?
I'd just like to give a little background about Green Mountain Camp and the mission and what the camp does. It's been ongoing since 1917. It was started to address the last global pandemic, where the reason for starting the camp was to train rural girls in Dummerston in hygiene so that they could bring that information back to families and protect families from the influenza of 1917. We've taken that mission and changed it over the years as needs have changed in terms of training young women, in terms of the things that are, the plagues of modern times, even before the current COVID crisis. But the plague of modern times is often social media, and so our camp is social media free. Girls don't wear makeup. We have very few mirrors. They sing. They play outside. They learn community and learn, social skills. We also have a very vibrant counselor and training program for training girls that are 13, 14 years old. We have a lot of different training programs for them. It's a really great launching process for girls that might be interested in working in education and social services. So they really learn skills with dealing with a variety of girls with a lot of modern challenging problems. And we actually managed to continue camp in the season of 2021 during the pandemic. We provide an important function in this community for childcare, in addition to our original mission for training young women, but it serves as a great place for families to get childcare. And Billy Slade has also been using the campus for the last 8 years?
6 years.
6 years. Well, 6 years as a child care facility in Dummerston, which is needed. If you open any paper, good quality child care is desperately needed in this community. So the campus functions not only as a summer camp, but as year-round child care. And I think the other point about the cabin is that it has allowed the camp for 110 years to provide a good package for somebody who is our camp director. We don't have to, the camp has had good times and bad, and right now we're in good times. And the fact that we have any money in the coffers, 11 years ago we had nothing. So we worked very hard to hold on to that money, to save it for this rainy day that we have now, which is it's time to replace the White House. And so by offering somebody free housing, we can attract high quality camp directors like Billy Slade, when we don't have to think about passing those costs on to our community members sending their girls to camp. And it allows us to use the campus for child care. We don't charge rent for the current child care that's there, so that the cost of child care can remain low. So it's not just a camp. We're doing a lot of other functions in that place. And we do it in a way that supports local families at a reasonable cost for camp. We agonize every year about keeping the cost of camp affordable for Dummerston families and other local area families.
I'm Billy Slade. I'm the person who's lived in that house that she's referring to for the last 11 years, and I hate to say it, but I think it needs to come down. And it makes me really sad because I loved that house as a kid when I was a camper there, but as an adult who's lived there, it has many, many challenges and it needs to be replaced. I also think it's really important that we pay attention to the role that the camp plays in the community. Not only does it afford a really good reputation for girls in the community, there's lots and lots of opportunities for people to become part of the camp, whether it's on a volunteer basis. We have a program called Our Community Comes to Camp, where we bring in women in non-traditional roles like an auto mechanic, a plumber, a carpenter, to be able to come and talk to the girls about you can be anything you want to be, and this is how I did it. It's really been a labor of love as far as helping these girls recognize that they can be empowered to believe in themselves and their ability to make a difference in the world, and it really has made a big difference in a lot of lives over the years. This summer, I believe we had 34 Dummerston girls attend camp. We gave out scholarships, and 96% of the girls who got scholarships were from Windham County. We employ 7 Dummerston residents during the summer, and then we employ 3 Dummerston residents now during the school year in the child care. So it also is a source of employment for people as well. And I just think it's something that is an investment in the future of the camp to be able to help us make this happen.
I'm Regina Stefanelli. I'm a board member as well as a parent of 2 children who have gone to the child care that we're talking about. One child that has gone to the summer camp a couple of times. And I guess it does come back to echo what you've heard. It comes back to the White House. If the White House is not in good condition, if there's not a place to live there, a meeting space for the camp, so many decisions hinge on that building being useful. And so when we talk about the camp on a whole, it is also a beacon of like community for, I don't think I would have met half the people I've met since being here without what the camp has offered, whether it be as other parents through the camp activities that Billy puts on at camp. I've rented the camp personally a couple times during the pandemic just to have a place for friends to gather safely that are from the area. So I think that any assistance we can get to help the disproportionate, impact that the pandemic has had also on families in this area by using this opportunity that we have right now to redo what happens at the White House, it would be a real benefit to Dummerston and its community.
One additional thing I forgot to mention is we looked into it and we can't find that there's any historical significance attached to that house. So it's not something that needs to be preserved for historical preservation.
So one question I have is, although you serve Dummerston girls, you serve girls from all over.
Yes.
So have you thought of or approached other towns asking them for a portion of their ARPA money?
No, that's an idea.
To sort of spread the joy.
Right, that's an interesting idea.
Yep.
Yes, it sounds like you're in town besides Dummerston where a lot of the hub comes out of Wyndham County.
Or perhaps, you've been there for quite some time. Have you thought about doing something with some of the, for lack of a better word, some of the alumni? Some of the young girls now would be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You already get that one, okay. Yep.
We're currently in the middle of trying to do a social media campaign for alumni to be able to donate to the camp to help.
So I guess my question is how are you going to be replacing this house? I'm not sure what the square footage of it is now. Are you trying to replace it with the same square footage? Can you go smaller so the cost would be less? I mean,
We actually,
We can't go smaller.
you can't go smaller. I don't know, I can't.
it's inside, when people look at the house, they think it's big, but at least half of it is woodshed.
Oh, okay.
So, it's a very small house inside. I know it's less than 1,000 square feet.
Okay, all right.
It's
900 and
square
stuff.
feet.
And what we're hoping to do is to, within the parameters of the footprint that we have now, within 50 feet, also include a meeting space, because right now we're at the mercy of, is the Dummerston Church open? Is this place open? Is that place to have meetings for board members? Having lived there for 11 years, I can tell you it's a really difficult situation to have to have a hard conversation with a parent or a staff member in the middle of your living room and your family's all around because there's no other space. And so, and the other piece of it is that there's no place for us to store any of the historical archives, the things, the artifacts that have been accumulated over the last 105 years. They're in various people's basements and that kind of thing because there's no storage space there for us to be able to keep those things. And so it would be really great to have a space that we could meet in, as well as have a little bit of storage space for the things that preserve the history of the camp.
Where does the child care take place? Which?
In the director's cabin. It's a little cabin that's probably, I think it's maybe 500, not even 500 square feet.
Yeah.
It's a tiny house that's down at the far end of the camp.
Yeah.
And it's really a nature-based program, so the majority of the child care takes place outside.
Right.
We're outside a lot.
And how many children are in the program?
6. It's just a family child care program, and then there's 4 after-school spots. And so the maximum there could be in the course of a day is 10, because we're a licensed family child care program.
Okay.
And that's separate from the camp. That's something that I do because my background's in early childhood, but it's certainly benefited from having it at the campus. It's a beautiful place to be a kid.
I want to be clear, we're not looking at a 3,000 square foot, property. We're looking something on the 1,000 square foot range, but we also really want to invest in a property that's going to be around for a long time and is very energy efficient. That's one of our initiatives has been to green up Green Mountain Camp and training women in the importance of energy efficiency, and green design is part of our plan with this project as well. So that's how we view keeping the camp sustainable for the next 100 years. So we recently purchased into a solar array as a nonprofit through difficult, complex instruments, but that was our first. This timing has been bumped up a little bit. We thought it was going to be maybe a year down the road, because you can't really renovate a property when the camp director is there all the time, and so we're kind of working out a time frame where we'll have some availability coming up. So we've kind of pushed things up sooner, but that's our real hope, to have a really sustainable, resilient home that will last the next 100 years, which may not be possible with the current building structure, which is also part of our reasoning, thinking it's time to move forward with a new property entirely. And the cost of retrofitting, having done it, the cost of retrofitting an existing old building to make it up to building standards that are resilient for the next 100 years is often more expensive than if you started fresh, unfortunately.
Any other questions? Okay, any last minute things you'd like to?
Thank you for hearing
Yeah,
us.
thank you for
Thank
coming in.
you for coming in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come by and visit sometime. We haven't been by the camp recently.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be in touch.
We'll
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay. You want to go into the road foreman's report? Okay. Okay, Lee. You're up. What's going on with the?
Yes, so Marty Lewis and I did a phone call with Alyssa yesterday to work on that action plan. So we got what we could on that taken care of. Tomorrow I have a 1 o'clock meeting with her on the phone to go over our structure list and go over all that. So I would say that's moving along. I was supposed to get generator service prices for you. I did call the company. They need a little bit of information on the fire stations and the town garages.
Okay.
Generators before they can give us a quote, but we should have that.
Soon.
Yeah, for the next meeting for sure. Unless you're meeting earlier than that, and then I can try to get it earlier.
No,
I think that'll be okay.
that'll be good.
Is
Okay.
it the same company that installed the
Yes.
generator?
Yeah, yes. We usually had a different company, but we're just seeing where the price falls. With them.
Did that, when we bought the one for the town office, did that come with the first cleaning?
We're looking that up.
Okay, I had that.
We were having the same question.
Yep.
And I don't have the exact answer right now. I didn't read the paperwork, and
Okay.
we were talking about it some, but I know we got the 5-year warranty.
Right.
I know that, and I believe we got the service plan, but I
That's okay.
need to find it before I say it, or at least a service plan for 1 year. But
So back to the LHMP, one of the first action steps on the
Looking
chart
for mine.
was, and I talked to Marty about it, was something to do with, we had to provide emergency kits for every resident in town.
Yes.
And Marty was gonna look into that, and the funding was supposed to come from VY, that doesn't exist anymore. So, do we
Right.
even have to have that action plan on there?
Right, we eliminated, well,
Okay.
we eliminated it.
Okay, good.
Or we told, that's what we had told her.
Okay,
Okay, good.
Because a lot of these, Lori had a few minutes, so she answered a lot of these questions, what
okay,
didn't really pertain to, or we didn't know the answers.
okay,
So, right, there was a couple of those
Okay.
that got eliminated.
Oh, good.
Yes.
okay,
It seems like the education is where they were looking to put a few things into that plan, you know, like how are we gonna educate the people who live in the floodplains? You know, those kind of things.
okay.
Even though I think we're very fortunate, because I don't think we had very many, so.
Right, okay.
So, the blasting fund, you would like to know that. So I did get a hold of, and I hope it goes through, but we're supposed to have a meeting, Putney, us, Renault, and the blaster at the gravel pit on Monday at 11 a.m. And that's to go over what is expected from us when we have a blaster in there, as far as cost, a lot of, or the different things that cost, and then just the price per yard or price, so we can adjust the capital fund, right? Is it some kind of
I
capital?
think the blasting fund.
Blasting fund, yeah. So that's, hopefully that meeting, it's been canceled before, but hopefully it goes through on Monday, because I would like to try to, if we don't get a kind of an answer from them, we're probably gonna have to try to just take our best guess on it. So we still have been making some sand. Down at Carpenter Pit, we have been running into some ledge. Well, on any of the borings, it was not shown. It's hard to tell right now how much ledge there is. We're moving towards the north, going towards sand grounds, and it's started in there, and it's just kind of spotty across the face. So, you know, it's, instead of just say 10 years, it might only last, 8. But no, not sure. But the plan was, just once we're done with there, we'd be going into our pit anyways, so. So we have been installing some culverts for that grant and a few other ones. On Black Mountain Road, we did one on Dutton, we did one on Kipling today, and another one on Kipling tomorrow. Been doing some grading still. And that heat pump location, I think that might be tricky, but I'll check that.
Okay.
Let me write that down. Other than that, I didn't have much.
Do we wanna,
That's
that's the cemetery
Oh, yeah.
The
right,
estimates,
right,
yeah.
got that.
from,
I think that shows it's gone up, those those amounts, percentage-wise.
yes, Yep.
Lori, did she write it on there?
Yes.
When it went up?
Yep.
Okay.
Huge increases. Is that, I mean, am I interpreting that incorrectly, or?
yeah, but he stayed level funded for what, 2 years for us? 4 years, we went 4 years of level funded.
Right, and the only time he went up was that when we added the portion of land
The
up
Taft,
here.
and a little bit once with Wilder until we started, you know what I mean,
Right.
a little bit there. No, I think he stayed steady for the last 4 years.
I do think Maria would, would know probably the best on,
Yeah.
the bang for your buck type
Yeah.
of thing.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, those individual amounts to do cemetery work, Yeah,
Oh, they're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I wouldn't even put a bid in on those. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, those are,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, when is it going to snow?
Next year.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
February, I was gonna say February.
no, I was thinking when they were
When are you going on
talking.
vacation now?
Yeah, you know, when you go to, well, when they were talking, I'm thinking, we don't have hot air in here. I didn't realize the wind had picked up that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's quite a little storm.
Yeah.
Here just a second ago.
40-mile-an-hour
Yeah.
gusts.
40?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Lee.
All right.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks very
thanks,
much.
Lee.
See ya, thank you.
Let's see. Any FEMA updates that you know of?
No, we're just, I believe everything's in, signed off. We're just waiting
Yeah,
now for
just
that
waiting.
last. There's
Okay.
just nothing so far.
Okay. Under correspondence for information, is there anything you'd like to go over there? Okay. Under new business, ARPA updates, discussion.
Okay, well, so you saw we did the Grange, so the ceiling repair
Yep.
they're doing, and they're getting estimates for the painting, because whoever's doing the ceiling repair doesn't do the painting.
Yeah.
And Larry did let me know, because he called me yesterday, and he said that we're probably gonna end up getting a supplemental for the roof, because they went up there, and of course, once you start doing a few things, there is a little bit more that needs to be fixed. So they're working with them right now to figure out how much the extra is gonna be. So we will get a supplemental on the roof.
Okay.
We finally, I think we resolved the rink payments, and that was in there. So when the split systems are gonna go in, so we're
The town office?
at the town office. So that's about where we're at right now, except for this ARPA, the request that we've got from Green
Yeah.
Mountain Camp.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, want to move on?
Sure. Or unless you wanna discuss Green Mountain Camp, or think about it for a bit. Like to mull that one over?
Mull that over.
I think sometimes it's good to just have time to process it all, yes.
Great.
Yeah, that was a good presentation.
It was a very good
Yeah.
presentation,
Yep.
yes.
Let's see. There's a state statute that in towns that if one party is unrepresented after an election for justices of the peace, let's see, that party can send a list of names to the Selectboard for appointment to the BCA. And this would be, let's see, they will be appointed for the 2-year term that starts in February. Their duties do not include anything other than just election-related duties. So, and that's my understanding.
You think you've got that in a nutshell?
Okay. So, let's see. I guess the Republican caucus in town gave us 3 names: Pearl Doubleday, Linda Hellus, and Lynn Kuralt.
Okay, so let's see if we can get this motion in right. Okay, so I'll move to appoint 3 Republican justices of the peace for election duties only, starting in February, excuse me, February of 2023, and those are to be Pearl Doubleday, Linda Hellus, and Lynn Kuralt.
I think you got it.
I got it?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. I guess I'll send them a note.
Okay.
Let them know. Okay. Okay, well, it's that time of year when health insurance plans are due to be renewed. And I guess we have a pretty good plan.
Yeah, I think we got some clarity now between the HSA and the HRA as to how they're dealing with that, how to do that.
We don't have to fund the HRA this year.
Yeah, the 5 employees seem to be happy
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
It was an excellent plan.
Yeah,
It
yeah, I
is,
wish I
it
had
is.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was exactly.
I'll get my CDL and then I'll be,
You can join up.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Do you want a motion?
Yes, please.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we approve for the health insurance plan, it's the MVP Reflective Silver 4 HDHP, and the cost will be, for the single plan, $680.91 per employee per month.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I can let Lori and Charlotte know that
Do you want me to?
you're going to do it.
Sure.
Yep, great. All right, let's see. Gee, that's the end of my new business. Anybody have any other new business? Nope,
Can't think of anything.
okay,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
great. Yeah, done.
Do you vote?
Yep.
Yeah, we're